every interview, I mean, seriously, batting 1,000 here. Every interview, the coaches are talking about how much time they spent volunteering their time just to get a foot in the door. Such a huge message to the young practitioners coming out that, you know, you're not going to walk out and get your salaried job. You're not going to walk out and get this. Like, here's the hard, cold facts. And if you want to be great, that's what you do. You find great people to learn from and offer your time to learn more.
Yeah, and it was cool. I mean, I can't think of a time that I didn't enjoy. You know, that was about a 3-year period there. And I can't think of not enjoying that grind at all, you know? I don't remember like, oh man, that was rough. It's like, I loved every minute of it. And yeah, it was rough. It was a lot of groups and, you know, filling water bottles as the new guy. And, you know, and I wasn't a young buck at that point either. I was, you know, 33 years old, really kind of as a beginner in this industry. And so I just wanted to be helpful and see what I could do to help the coaches prepare to get the athletes better.
Cool. So talk to me, where'd you go from there?
Okay, so at that point I've gotten a little more involved in the NSCA. I'd spoken at a couple clinics. One of my real kind of beginning mentors was the Vermont State Director at the time, and his name is Paul Goodman. He was the University of Vermont strength and conditioning coach. Okay. He left that position to take a job with the Chicago Blackhawks, where he's been ever since. He's not had a bad run there.
Right. He's done very well.
So he was awesome. I'd spoken at a couple clinics, and when he left, you know, I think the process is a little more selective and organized now, but he was basically like, hey, you want to take over as state director? Submit your resume to these guys. And I told them, you're awesome and you've been doing stuff. So I kind of went through, you know, the application process, but I took over as state director. And then that allowed me to get involved in the NSCA a little bit more. You know, also at that time when I was at the River Valley Club, I was the strength coach for a semi-pro basketball team called the Vermont Frost Thieves. So again, just more and more of these athlete, you know, training things coming up, and I was really enjoyed that. They were a really good team. Did a couple, you know, every year I'd go to the national conference. I would try and meet more people. I met people like Jay Dawes, you know, some of the first people, Mike Barnes, who was the education director of the NSCA at the time. Just some of these first people that I meet, and Avery Fagenbaum, and they say, oh, come out and hang out with us, and then you just talk shop all night. So I really felt that the NSCA was a really great organization to be involved with because of these guys, and it showed that they really cared about what these state level people who were, you know, I mean, we're kind of the little fish in the big sea when you're talking about people you're seeing presenting on that stage, and they're inviting you to hang out. So it made me really want to do more with them. I was on a committee in 2010, strategic planning committee, and there was all the big dogs. I mean, I sat next to Dr. Steve Fleck, who eventually became the board of director president. You know, Mike and Meg Stone were in that room, Lee Brown, and there was me and 2 other state directors, and we were kind of like,
do we belong here?
How did we get in here? They weren't checking the IDs.
Right, that's an amazing lineup right there.
Yeah, and it was amazing. But you know what? Probably the coolest thing about that strategic planning thing is Lee Brown pulled a couple of us, me and another guy who was a state director, aside, and he said, don't you guys be intimidated by some of these old farts in here, because we're not going to be around forever. And he goes, you guys are going to be the ones leading the NSCA someday.